my privilege to introduce Mike Ullman. Mike has served as chairman of the board and chief executive officer for JCPenney since 2004 and has held a lengthy and distinguished career as an executive before that. He serves on the board of Starbucks and the Federal Reserve of Dallas, as well as serving on the boards of two wonderful charities, one meeting medical and human needs and the other encouraging youth to explore science and technology. We're delighted to have him join us here. And I understand that JCPenney will be treating us to a fashion show this evening, which I think is a summit first. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Mike Ullman, along with JCPenney Senior Vice President Liz Sweney.
Thank you. Wow, is it great to be here today. Mike and I are both thrilled to be here, and I thought I would take a couple minutes and maybe just talk a little bit about why we're here. I'm Liz Sweney, and I am the executive sponsor of our employee resource group called Pride. And by the way, we have 8 employee resource groups, but our Pride group is one of our largest as well as one of our most active groups. We're fortunate. Celeste came and talked to our group a couple of years ago. And boy, is she inspiring to all of us. Inclusion and diversity commitment in a company starts at the very top. And obviously that's why Mike Ullman is here. Mike, from the very beginning, and he's been with us for 7 years, from the very beginning has shown an enormous commitment to the LGBT community in our stores as well as in our home office. Mike encourages each of the executive committee to be involved with an employee resource group. But I will tell you, it goes well beyond just having the executive committee, if you will, sponsor a group. It really goes to the very heart of the matter, which is about getting so involved and being such great allies for our LGBT community in our stores. So it's about our associates. We have 160,000 associates. They touch millions and millions of customers every year. And the notion that every single one of us can be an ally for our LGBT associates and our customers is really the one that we strive for. With that, I'd like to introduce Mike Ullman, and Mike is going to share some with you.
Thank you, Liz. It's great to be here. It's an interesting time in retail. As you can imagine, following the 80-year recession, all of us are very challenged. I arrived at JCPenney about 7 years ago, as Liz said. I had been retired for 3 years. I was totally disabled. I had been working in Hong Kong in the mid-'80s and had developed some kind of neurological disease, and eventually by the year 2001, working in Paris for LVMH, was unable to continue my career, so I became retired and was working on boards. And so when the JCPenney board approached me, I really perceived that I didn't really have the strength or the bandwidth to take on another assignment, but felt that if they would put up with my disability, I would certainly like the challenge. What I learned about JCPenney, which many of you already know, is it's over 100 years old. It almost failed about 10 years ago. The previous chairman came in, turned it around, and was heading in the right direction. But the board challenged me to say, how can we take this to the next level? JCPenney was doing business with half of the families in America at least once every year. So it's a very big footprint and a big opportunity. In the retail business, you have 2 main constituencies. You certainly got the customers, but more importantly, you've got the associates. And the customer relationship with the associate is everything in the relationship at retail. So when I arrived, I made it a high priority to teach and to engage our associates in how to interact with customers. So one of my associates and myself taught a class of 30 executives at a time for 2 days in our windowless room downstairs. We taught actually 750 people over periods of 4 or 5 years. But there are 3 main topics that we taught. One is how to develop a vision that motivates your teams, how to envision the future for your team. The second, how to engender trust. And the third, how to practice candor. Why are these important to our topic today? Well, people work for people, not for companies. If you don't really trust your manager, it's not going to be a good experience. So we really talk about character, having generosity, humility, of integrity, and really realizing that diversity is part of that. And coming from working in Asia, working in the US, and working in Europe, adopting 2 handicapped Chinese children and my own handicap, differences mattered to me. And I think the time in that room, 30 people at a time, 2 days, 750 people, I learned a lot more than they did. And I think the bottom line for me in terms of diversity was that somebody said, well, what's the philosophy you subscribe to in terms of this teaching? I said, well, one thing is, you've got to love your audience as a leader. If you don't love your audience, it's all about you. If you love the audience, it's all about them. Second, you've got to do your homework, which means you've got to be competent. People don't follow people that aren't competent. And last, but certainly not least, you've got to be yourself. And diversity and inclusion is all about being yourself and being allowed to be yourself. So we started to apply these principles in how we interacted with customers. We knew that associate engagement was key to interacting with customers, but we started to really think about what the customer relationship be like. And part of what we said was we want our people to be great. We want them to greet, respect, engage, assist, and thank customers with an exclamation point at the end, and the exclamation point at the end was be yourself. So I'd say the theme of our diversity thought process and our engagement is be yourself. We want you to come to work as who you are. We want you to interact with customers who you are. And we have a very diverse group of customers. We have a very diverse workforce. I'm pleased to say that while Penny's for 100 years was very decentralized and probably didn't think so much about these issues, that in the last year, Diversity 100, Diversity Inc., awarded us the #1 diversity process improvement in America for any company. I think that's really, I think it's really a testimonial to our people's engagement on this topic. Social engagement is something we care about. We measure associate engagement. We ask each of our associates 50 questions every year. When we started this survey, I think it was almost 6 years ago, about 60% of the people took the survey, answered the 50 questions, and we had a score of about 67, which is right about the Gallup average. Last year, I'm pleased to say 93% of our associates took the survey, and our score was 81, which is the highest in retail. Frankly, that's not the important part. The important part is the engagement with our customers soared. We started measuring customer satisfaction. So the way we measure customer satisfaction, we found out that satisfied customers don't come any more often or spend any more than dissatisfied customers. That sounds pretty discouraging. But what we found out is that highly satisfied customers come 20% more often and spend 16% more. So we ask our associates to think about how to make someone highly satisfied. And it really is about meeting them where they are, loving your customers, doing your homework, being yourself. I'm pleased to say for the last 3 years in a row, JCPenney has won the #1 customer service award for any store in the United States, ahead of Nordstrom's, by the American Express poll. And I would argue it's about our people loving their customers, doing their homework, and being themselves. So my message to you is, we really want to embrace everybody. We think the diversity that we have is a strength. You'll see Jeffrey Henning this evening. He's our head of design. He joined us in 2002. We built a 200-person design group here in Dallas. People come to join us to work in the fashion industry because they know they get a chance to express themselves, to be themselves. Creativity is what our business is all about. We produce over half the merchandise in the store ourselves. They're designed by teams here in Dallas. Our people do work in teams. They're used to working with people of all different persuasions, and actually they get excited and enriched. And I would argue our engagement scores are so high because of that. So the LGBT cause for us is central. I'm pleased to say, having been a CEO for 25 years, on Monday is my last day. I've become chairman on Monday. I would say when I look back on my career, the thing I probably get the most satisfaction out of is watching other people thrive in a very diverse and challenging environment. My successor, Ron Johnson, who used to be the head of Apple Retail, I am certain will embrace this cause and I think take us to the next level. I'm thrilled to be here. I really appreciate meeting all of you, and thank you very much.
You know, as Mike said, we are so pleased to be here and to also sponsor the summit this year. We were in LA last year, and we said, how can we play a bigger role? On behalf of all the associates at JCPenney, all of our LGBT associates, and also all of our associates who are great allies, we just want to let you know that we're very honored to participate in the summit this year. And Mike is serious. We have a spectacular fashion show. It starts at 7 o'clock. You can come and rediscover style at JCPenney if you haven't shopped lately. And we just may have a little goodie bag for you too. So thank you very much. You've been wonderfully patient and kind.